So how did you finally leave Vietnam?
So we decided that we had to split up because the last time we went together, everybody was in prison.
Yes.
So for economic, financial reason, and also just so that we go in wave, we decided we're going to split up.
Okay.
So the first time my two older brothers left, they left Vietnam and then
Were they alone together?
they were with their cousins. And
Okay.
so they left, they arrived safely to Thailand. You go from Vietnam to Thailand or the Philippines or Malaysia.
On a boat.
Where the refugee camp is. And from there,
Uh-huh.
the U.S. ambassadors come and interview, and hopefully you get the visa to go to the United States. So
It's the same kind of boat. That single engine,
those
fishing
little
type
bitty boat.
Okay.
So my two older brothers left, and they sent back a letter and said, "Hey, we safe and sound."
You're
Send
lucky
the
you were
next,
able
send the
to
next
get
group. So
Wow.
then when the opportunity arose, then my younger brother and I was 12 years old and he was 10, together with my aunt and 4 other cousins,
Okay.
we left Vietnam. Same. By this time we go from Vietnam to Cambodia because the distance on the ocean from Cambodia to Thailand is a lot shorter.
Okay.
And then from there we catch the little boat and go from there to Thailand.
What was that like? Because you were the older one at this point, and you didn't know whether or not.
I was the older one, and I remember I was just starting out sixth grade, right? But the opportunity came, so we went. So our aunt and our 4 cousins, our group, the boat has about 40 of us. So we came first to Cambodia, and they hit us in the attic of the house, where we don't really see the sunlight. You see it through the crack, the sunlight. You wait there until when the boat came in, when there's no police and things like that.
Okay.
Then at night, they'll sneak you out and you hide in the bushes.
Wow.
And at night, when the boat came in, then you walk out to the boat, you jump into it, and you leave.
So whose house was this in Cambodia?
This is the people that organized
Just some kind person.
This trip. Yeah.
Wow.
So I remember staying there, and finally our time came. The boat had come in, and they, one by one, they begin to, because they don't want to take the big group out. They just take out 1 or 2 person at a time.
Yes, of course.
So everybody was leaving and leaving and leaving. And when it's final, it depends on the time when you get there to the house. That's the order that you will get out to the boat. If you don't, and by the time they fill up the boat, you wait for the next boat to come in. So when it finally, my turn, one of the ladies said, "Would you please allow me to go before you? Because my 2 brothers already gone. I want to go out there with them."
They want to stay together on the
they
same
want to
boat.
stay together. She said, "Sure, you can go. I'll just wait for the next moped to come and take me and my brother." So they took her and they came back and said, "Sorry, you're going to have to wait for the next boat."
Wow.
Because now there's a lot of police driving on the road.
Wow.
I was like, darn, I miss it by 1. I'm going to have to wait another week before the next boat comes. It turns out that boat that left before me, they didn't make it.
Wow.
All those people died.
What happened? Do you know what happened to them? Did they sink or were they captured?
I heard from their family that I think they were ramped by the pirates and everybody died.
So had you not given up your seat to her,
I'd be in heaven right now.
Wow.
But God has a plan for every one of us, I have a plan. So, and I waited like about 4 or 5 days later. Finally, this time I got to go out and we went. So we get on the boat at night and we go, when the sun comes out, the boat would go into a little island, drop us off. We hide in the island, and at night, and when the sun sets, the night comes, they'll come and pick us up and we continue our journey. That's how we were doing.
Wow.
And we finally arrived to Thailand. And again, they plan it so that it come at night. They just dump us off and they'll leave. So they drop us off at night on the other side of the island where people leave. And when we got off, we started walking toward the village. And as we were doing that, the pirates spotted us. So they came in. They had their guns and their machetes, and they lined us up. They put the guns toward us, and they lined us up.
How big of a group were you?
About 40 of us.
Okay. But so there were adults that you could follow since you were...
Yeah.
You were so young.
Yeah, that's right. They lined us all up.
Okay.
And then one by one, they go and they inspect, check out everything.
For valuables?
For valuables. And they took it all from us. So my mother has her ring, her wedding ring.
Uh-huh.
And the jean that I was wearing, she cut it out. She put the ring in there and she sewed it back up. She said, when you get to Thailand, you sell this ring and you use that money for food when you get there. Well, of course, they inspected it and they saw it. They cut it out and they took the ring. And every valuables we have, money, they took it all. But fortunately, they let us go. They didn't do us harm. They got on the boat and they left. So by the time, and my cousin had a ring, also a golden ring, same thing. She swallowed it because that's what we were told to do. Like if you swallow it, and later you can, it comes out and you can look for it and you go and clean it up and sell it. So anyway, so we got to, by the time we get to the village, we don't have a thing, So while waiting for the Thai government to come and pick us up and bring us to the camp, for about 2 months and a half, we didn't have anything. We live in a little cottage in that island while waiting for the government to come. For about 2 months or so, 2 months and a half, we were going and like a beggar, every day we wake up and we go down to the Thai village, usually around meal time, at lunch or during dinner time. And we ask for food. A lot of time they would have their dinner and with the leftover, they'll call us in and we'll go inside and eat. I remember Thai food is very spicy. I remember with my cousins and my brother, we would go and we, after the meal, they go and we go and we're so happy we have food. And talking about Thai food, we would go in, we have our food. And it was so spicy. We were eating. It was so spicy, like our nose would be running, and we were like crying. Oh, it's so spicy! And we were so hungry. The food was so like,
wow.
That's how I learned to eat spicy food.
From your experience in Thailand.
From my experience in Thailand, and occasionally people would give us a bag of rice, a few Thai. They call it bath.
So where were you staying at that point?
So
was there a camp?
In the island? There's a little kind of like a they built like a little, just like the roof.
Okay.
Like a little kind of like a little gazebo.
Okay.
A square gazebo with a roof on it. It's small, maybe 14 by 14, and 40 of us cramped in there just to sleep there while waiting for the Red Cross and the government to come and bring us to the refugee camp. Yeah.
Wow.
So we lived like that for about, while we were there, another group came. Very sad, but when this group came, when they dumped them off, the boat hit the rock, the boat break, and people just hang on to whatever they can hang on and swim in, and half of the people in that boat die.
Wow. They drowned on the
They drowned
water.
as they're trying to get in the island. And then they finally found us. They came and joined us too. Yeah. It was a tough time.
It was you and your brother. Did you have any older relatives with you that were helping you along?
My aunt.
Okay.
My aunt was with me and my other 4 cousins. We were together with the rest of the group. Yeah.
Wow. And that's the same experience that your brothers went through.
Yeah. Yeah. We were all together. Whatever food we find, we'll come home and we share it among ourselves. And so we lived like that.
Was your dad still in prison at this point, or was he at home already?
He was back in Vietnam. Now, back in Vietnam, Mom and Dad was waiting for the news from us. Because my brothers went and soon they got the news back. We got here safely. We're all right.
Wow.
For us, we have no connection with the outer world. And Mom and Dad at home thought that we have died.
They had no idea what happened to you.
They had no idea.
Especially if the news of that previous boat got to them.
Yeah. And they never get the news from us. So in their mind, they thought they have lost their children.
Wow.
Every day they were praying for us.
Wow.
And when we finally, when the Red Cross came, the staff from the Red Cross come to bring us food and to check our health and things like that, then we were able to write letters to our family. They took it to the city and sent it. That's when my parents finally received news that we were still alive. Yeah.
It's a good thing they were able to receive those letters, that the government didn't intercept them somehow.
Yeah.
Even the letters of your brothers.
That's right.
That they were able to. So where were your brothers at this point?
My brothers at that time was in the camp in the mainland at that point. And they were trying every day looking for us.
In Thailand?
In Thailand.
Okay.
They heard from my mom that your brothers have already left. But it's been 2 months, they haven't heard from us. So they're searching. Every time they see the Red Cross come to the camp, please look for my brothers. This is his pictures. Wow. This is his name. If you hear of his news, please let us know. My parents are waiting in Vietnam. We don't know what happened to them. It's been 2 months. We haven't heard any news of them.
How old were your brothers at that time?
So my brother was 14 and 15.
Imagine being 14 or 15
brothers.
years old and not knowing what's happening to your younger siblings, not knowing whether or not they're alive or not.
Yeah.
Trying to worry about what's going to happen to you. And then at the same time, your parents in Vietnam, whether or not your dad was going to get put in prison again.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's tremendous suffering. But when you're in it, St. Paul say that God will never put us in a place without giving us grace to live it. So when you're in it, you just shift to survival mode, and God is with us. We pray the rosary together every night. And I just remember, even though it was tough, but I was very close to the Lord. I was always praying the rosary. Still keep the dream alive that hopefully I'll get to the island and get to the U.S. one day and join the seminary. But it was a tough time. But God gave you the grace. I look back to my lives. Sometimes I celebrate Mass and I see my nieces and nephew and our young people here. They are so blessed, and I thought to myself, I was at the age when all of this happened. How did I survive that? But when you're in it, God give us the grace. If we are faithful, if we just with Him, God will always carry us through. Always carry us through.